Peace, peace. Hope all is well with everybody. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. I really do. And yeah, we're just gonna get straight into it. This is pretty much the truth about Thanksgiving, which I'm sure a lot of us have been told at one point in time, but maybe it didn't stick with you. So this is just a refresher for some. For some others, this may be new information, because I remember I was not taught this stuff in school. So let's get into it. These are just some notes I took on Thanksgiving, about Thanksgiving, that I wanted to share with some people to get a better understanding of what's going on this day. So work with me as I just go through my notes, okay? All right, well, let's get into it. This is Thanksgiving origins, we'll say. Well, yeah, it is. Before I get into the notes, I just want to say that Thanksgiving is nothing new to the world. Well, Thanksgiving in the modern European context is new to the world. But the origins go back to Egypt. And it wasn't called Thanksgiving, of course. But it was just a celebration of good crops. You understand? But let's get into it. In 1614, English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of Patuxet Indians for slavery, leaving behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out the Indians that did escape. By the time Pilgrims arrived, there was only one Indian left, and his name was Squanto. Here's the infamous pictures we see. The lies that this picture propagates is a big reason that more people don't know the truth. Well, his name was Squanto, who survived slavery in England and knew their language and taught them how to grow corn and to fish, and negotiated a peace treaty between Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Nation, Indian tribes. Puritans, religious zealots, Puritans, began arriving and considered this new land, quote unquote, to be, quote unquote, public domain, which in so many words is the doctrine of discovery that I went over. So go back to that video and understand how big of a strategic move the doctrine of discovery is. So I'm going to repeat that line. Puritans began arriving and considered this quote-unquote new land to be public domain, joined other British settlers and seized the land, capturing indigenous inhabitants for slavery. The Pequot Nation didn't agree to the treaty Squanto made with the Pilgrims and started a war. In 1637, 700 men and women and children of the Pequot tribe gathered in celebration of their annual Green Corn Festival. While sleeping, the Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come out, and whoever did was shot or clubbed to death, while women and children were burned alive. The next day, the governor of Massachusetts, I can't say that word, Massachusetts, I don't know. Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 men, women, and children had been murdered. This is your Thanksgiving. Motivated by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. Women and children, over 14, were sold to slavery, while the rest were murdered, elders and men. Bounties, so they put bounties, were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. A second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the victory or massacre over the heathen savages. During the feasting, the hacked off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls. Understand, they called them natives. They were the original inhabitants of this land. The Wampanoag didn't escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded and put on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it stayed for 24 years. Understand what we're talking about. We're going to go back over it, people. Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving to be a legal national holiday on the same day that he ordered troops to march on the starving Sioux in Minnesota. I'm going to go back over these things. When we're talking about Thanksgiving, understand what the holiday is celebrating. School doesn't teach you the gritty, ugly side of things. They teach you the nice and positive aspects of things. Slavery, they're turning the whole slavery, or the slavery of peoples, into what's the word? Voluntarily servitude, some shit like that. This couldn't be further from the truth. Make sure to hit that like, sub, and bell. Leave some comments, y'all. This is far from the truth. Thanksgiving is, in fact, a day that is celebrated about massacres, taking people's land and killing them off. You see these two brothers right here. These are not European anythings. These are inhabitants, indigenous inhabitants of this land. These are dark melanated peoples. So when the people, teachers, I know firsthand, will tell you that these people weren't of African descent at all, when in fact that's untrue. They might not have been Africans from Africa, you feel me, like straight out of Africa, but no, they're African descent. Anyway, we're going to go back over a couple of the points I hit. Okay, when we're talking about the Patuxet, if I'm butchering the name, I apologize. I do apologize, because I wouldn't want anybody to get my name wrong. But I do apologize. But the Patuxet origin is West Eurasians and Africans, or just in general, they were black people. Now, when we talk about how the Pilgrims came and took over the land, the Puritans, etc., we're talking of doctrine of discovery, coming to your land, seeing you unfit to hold on to your land, that you've been there thousands of millions of years, and saying it's ours, and calling you heathens. Now, this is a tricky thing, ladies and gentlemen, heathens, because it's funny when you know the words that they're using and what it is they're trying to describe. When we look up heathen, and I'm doing this as I'm speaking, you can Google the definition, you can get a dictionary, whatever you want. Heathen means a person who does not belong to a widely held religion, especially one who is not a Christian, Jew, or Muslim, as regarded by those who do. Doctrine of Discovery says if you're not a Christian, then you're a heathen, a pagan. We have to understand that we had our own quote-unquote religious beliefs before Christianity was born. We gave birth to Christianity, we being Africans or black folks. So as long as you didn't know Christianity or something of the nature, you were a heathen. If you go down a little further, it'll give you different synonyms. We go to pagan, a person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main world religions. Understanding that Christianity may now be a world-known religion, its roots and origins go all the way back to African. So, in the sense of the word they're using, if you're not practicing actual ancient African spirituality, you're a pagan. You see what I'm saying? This is just by the words they're using. So we're just going to get into these words. You understand? Uncivilized. Well, to be uncivilized, you would have to have no culture. So let's look up the word culture, because we have to understand these word plays being used against us. You'll see Squanto here in a second. The arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. So we already had in place the foundation of which civilization was built upon. We built civilization. We had culture. You understand what I'm saying? We had the sciences, all of the sciences. So we were already cultured or civilized. it was the foreigner who didn't know no better. This is King Philip. We just seen Squanto. King Philip. Also about Squanto, he was kidnapped and sold into slavery by English explorer Thomas Hunt. I meant to throw that in there, so I apologize if I didn't. This is very simple stuff. This is a celebration of a massacre of a people. So let's get back to, there goes Squanto, you see what I'm saying? Notice this isn't European. This isn't a pale-skinned person. This is not of the nature. They say anything but African or black, but obviously every depiction of these peoples in the original Indians, quote unquote, are dark-skinned peoples. You don't get dark skin from two white people. I'm not being funny. I'm just stating the facts. So let's go back to the notes, which we can understand. Puritans began arriving and considered the new land to be public domain and practiced doctrine of discovery tactics. The Pequot Nation didn't agree to the Squanto treaty made with the Pilgrims. By the time Pilgrims arrived, there was only one Indian left named Squanto. Listen to that. All of these people, this civilization of people, and when the foreign Europeaners, or just to be technical, the English, if we will, for this Thanksgiving, came, they were foreign to the land, but they killed everybody off and sold these people off. This is Thanksgiving. This is what we're thankful for. Yeah, and I understand people say, well, this is a good day for us, to come together as a family and enjoy each other's company. I highly understand this, people. But we need to stop celebrating or coming together on these particular days. That's just an excuse to celebrate either way. Squanto. Notice the black phenotypes. While sleeping, the Indians were surrounded by Dutch mercenaries and English mercenaries and were clubbed to death or shot or burned alive. Come on, people. Come on, people. These are facts of history. And this is what we celebrate. We got to stop doing this. This isn't okay. If you want to get together with your family, find another day. Pick another day, the day before, the day after. You understand? We shouldn't be celebrating genocide and massacres. I'm just saying. In 1637, 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe gathered in celebration of their annual Green Corn Festival. This is something that is not new to us. Thanksgiving is new to us. It's a modern conception. It's literally a celebrated day of massacre and genocide. I love y'all. I just want y'all to know the truth. Of course I was going to come with it today. And every holiday I'm going to come with it. You can look these things up. Look up the Patuxet, the Wampanoag. Look up these people. You'll see. These were dark-skinned peoples. Look up the Doctrine of Discovery. I have the video, so go back to my video and watch it. Anyway, have a good day. Enjoy your holiday. I got to get up out of here. I just wanted to throw this up here for y'all. I still hope you enjoy your day. This is King.